welcome back to Bold and Bawdy. This is your girl, Maddie. I'm here with my lovely co-host.
Hey, it's Lina D. We're back.
And it's Westley.
Hello, motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
He's still here. Sorry, guys.
You ain't get rid
We
of me.
really tried to get rid of him for season 2. I know we got all these requests. I'm just joking. There were no requests. But welcome back to season 2. I hope you missed us. And we have a really, really great season lined up for you. We cannot wait to share everything that we've been doing. We've been out for how long? We've been gone?
It's been since October. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Because, we're adults living life and shit.
Yeah, for real.
Trying to get our creative juices flowing, getting some topics in order.
Getting Westley out of jail because he be doing stupid shit.
Contrary to popular belief, Wesley is in jail. She's just joking, by the way. Wesley's not going to jail. He has never been in jail and doesn't plan on going to jail.
Contribute to Wesley's probation relief fund.
GoFundMe.
I'm gonna create a GoFundMe. The funds may or may not actually make it there, but
It might be true. I'm doing this from jail, by the way.
Oh man. But since we've been gone since October, I guess we should talk about what we've been up to, because y'all are like, what the fuck have these niggas been?
Yeah, it's like I haven't seen you guys post anything. Like, what's going on? And it's like, with anything, it's like, really good work needs a little bit of a break. Like, that's why, like, your favorite shows of season. So, like, that was the big thing that we were like, okay, we're actually going to have a season.
Yeah.
So we've just been super busy.
It's season 2, bitches.
And we're really excited now to kick that off. But so Wesley, being that you're
clearly so hype,
really super hype and you want to interrupt everything that we're saying.
That's right, damn it.
What have you been up to since we've been gone?
First of all, I passed my damn exam. Second of all, I went to prison for burglary. Went to prison for burglary.
Oh man.
First of all, I passed my recertification exam.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
So see this shit? You see what I gotta deal with? I gotta deal with both of them.
Because everybody knows the only reason you passed is because Aunt Becky paid the proctor to change your answers. Let's not play this game.
I wish I had Aunt Becky.
I wish we had that kind of money.
I wish.
Sugar mama.
My whole life that I had Aunt Becky to save me and guide me through all my problems and pay for them to make them shits go away. That'd be awesome. Fuck great. Aunt Becky. I'm sorry.
Damn. Tell her how
I feel some kind of way about that, but I don't even want to get into that right now. All right.
You passed your test.
Yeah. Number 2, we moved, and I hate moving. I don't know anybody who likes moving, but I really hate moving because it feels like I'm picking up my life and just dropping it somewhere else, and I'm not really with that. So we moved, February?
Well, yeah. Well, the whole moving, it was a process.
This shit was
So it started in January after we got back from our trip, which was obviously looking for a new place, checking out the hood, checking out different buildings and stuff. It was just a lot of work.
Can we tell them where we used to live at before? I feel like we can now because we out of there. So where we used to live at, we used to actually live in Herald Square. And for all you guys who don't know where Herald Square is, in New York City, there's the big ass Macy's, right? And diagonally from that Macy's is the Gap. So right next to the Gap is Herald Towers, and that's where we used to live at. Yeah, they probably like shit. They balling motherfuckers.
That's what everybody thinks, even though it is not a super nice building.
It really isn't.
I mean, but I feel like a lot of places in New York aren't super nice, but they're still super expensive.
Yeah,
that's true.
And for that, it's just about the access, for that building.
Yeah, it definitely was for sure the access. What else? Been really thinking about studying for this other exam. For those of you who don't know, I'm in IT. I do a lot of infrastructure work. That's like routers, switches, shit like that.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, no, I know no one cares. But the reason why I'm saying this is because see, she already she already like interrupted again, hating. Anyway, so
you gotta love family.
Hate. So, the reason why I mentioned that is because I'm going for the CCIE. The test for you to prepare for it takes 18 months. You have to do at least 1,000 hours of lab time in order to take this exam, prepare to take this exam. So I'm really looking forward to that. I might get started actually around the September, October timeframe of this year.
After we're done with you guys.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. But we love you guys. After we're done with this season.
Now, think about this, guys. I got to deal with this all the time. It's just them cracking jokes.
That's intentional. Like crazy. You chose this. It's like dealing with two millennials from that chicklet Instagram. But first of all, wow, I absolutely love her, and I see no fault in anything that she does or says, except for when she puts hands on him. Because I'm just like, yo, that sounds like it hurt. Like,
chill. All right, and another thing is, which really grinds my gears, but it's not really worth the time. But I mentioned it anyway. I still haven't got mail since last month. So
what?
Yep.
Like, I have gotten no mail. So USPS fucked our shit up completely.
Did you do it online?
Yes.
We did. And still no mail.
Have you at least gotten that first packet? Like the first letter?
We got the first letter. Hey, and they still managed to fuck this up.
Okay, this has nothing to do with this, but I guess this is a fun fact for everybody out there. There's a service where they'll send you a message every morning showing you what that is. Informed delivery.
Yeah, I have that. They've been sending our mail to our old spot. Still.
How?
I don't know. So Lina D has been calling them continuously. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, that's the old address. We're at the new address. So take your shit and post it in to a point where Lina D had to go back to the old spot and get all the mail and bring it over.
Like, I had to call, and thankfully I left on a good note with a lot of the people there, like even the ones that used to be a little like bitchy kind of like. But I gave him a call and I was like, hey, I know you probably can't do anything about it, but has somebody moved in? Because we haven't been getting mail. I'm concerned that it's piling up in our old mailbox. And she's like, well, technically we can't get in there, but let me talk to the post lady and see what she says. And so she was able to actually get everything out, but it was literally like a 5-pound envelope, a manila envelope of just mail that's been stacking up at the other place. Even though we put in the request, the move request, they sent us a
little yellow, like,
no, it doesn't have any of that. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So they're literally
your USPS is trash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, it is garbage.
By the way, this is the one on 34th and 8th. That big ass building.
One,
yep,
right?
that's where. Yep, and they fucked this up.
I'm sorry,
they fucked it up,
funny,
and I'm putting it out there. This is not allegedly. They
no,
fucked
we still
up.
don't have. We still haven't gotten mail.
We got the ticket numbers, USPS. So if you want to get at us, come get at us. It's just proof.
I have no problem with USPS. I want none of this smoke. Do not bring this shit my way. I'm good. Like, please, let's be clear.
I know they run deep, but
for y'all.
This is not alleged. This is real. This has really happened.
I got my mail. I'm fine.
So,
I can give you out a confirmation code.
Hopefully, it gets fixed next week.
Hopefully,
because as of now, I'm counting down towards 7 days of like not knowing where my mail is going to end up, because that's last week when I picked it up. So
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
Amazon they got the real MVP status because they've been delivering our shit like clockwork. So,
at least they know how to read addresses.
They know how to read addresses and shit.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
crazy.
So what's going on with y'all two, Maddie? What's going on with you?
But I do actually have a funny mail story.
Oh, okay.
But it's the people that lived in the house before. Have not forwarded their mail.
So they're still.
So
just
I'm still
all
getting
shit.
a bunch of mail.
It's probably the USPS that fucked that shit up too.
They probably just didn't even forward that shit.
They never forwarded it. So, and here's how I can tell you that they never did, because at first, when I first moved in, they were still coming to the house and like opening the mailbox and taking the mail. As I said, I have informed delivery, so every morning I get an email and it's like, these are the letters you're going to be getting. So at first I was like, I mean, if they're just taking their mail, I don't care, right? Because maybe they're not as forward thinking as I am. Right. Because as soon as I closed on that house, my mail I sent in that change of address form. Right. I'm not playing because I'm moving in ASAP. So there were some days where they took all of the mail, including mine, and then they would come back next day. That's a federal crime.
That's a crime.
Yes, it's a crime.
So they would come back the next day and then leave the mail that they had taken of mine. So being petty, because that's what I do, I went and I bought a new mailbox with a lock, because I'm just like, I'm not doing this with y'all. Yep. Like, because
100%.
This is like a month in and they're still
that's just
like coming and doing it.
Disrespectful. And
it's like, y'all don't live here anymore. This isn't your shit. So no.
Yeah.
If they listen to it, oh well, I don't care. So as y'all know, I bought this house last April.
Yep.
Here we are now, and I'm still getting their mail.
We're in March.
So I had looked it up.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. So I had looked it up, and it was just like, oh, if you write return to sender, address he moved or whatever, then they'll return it to the post office. But my post office, they're not all completely perfect. They kept returning it back to me. I'm just like, okay, so I just want to fuck with me. So I stacked it all up, and I somehow, I'm not going to snitch on myself, but I found their new address. So I was going to like forward it myself, like fill out the form. So I brought it to the post office, and I was just like, I didn't sign it because I'm pretty sure I can't sign it because on the form it says
mail fraud.
You're you're confirming that you are the person listed on this. And I'm like, nope. I'm definitely not that person. So I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, I can't do that. And I'm like, but I don't want their mail to keep coming to me because some of this shit looks important. Yep. They have a daughter who's like graduating. Mm-hmm. I'm getting like college letters at this address. So I'm just like,
oh my God.
Why wouldn't you change your address? Like, these could be your acceptance letters. This could be your financial aid package. Yep. Like,
that is
I'm
insane.
getting letters from the state. I'm getting letters from the city, like Medicaid, all sorts of shit. And I'm just like, some of this shit is probably important that you would want. Yep. I'm like, I'm not going to be petty and throw it out. So I try to return it. I try to like forward it, and he's just like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm like, so what can I do? He's like, well, you can bring me the mail. Literally, same thing. I pull out this like stack of mail, and he's looking like, what the fuck? And I'm like, exactly. Yeah. Like, this is how much mail I'm still getting.
Yeah, for real.
And he's like, I'm gonna see what I could do, but I can't take this like completed form from you. I'm just like, Nick, I don't care. Just take it.
Yeah.
Like, take it.
Just take all this shit. I don't want anything to do with it.
Whatever happens, at least I know like I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, I got another mail story, right? You know,
the whole episode can't be about mail.
No. This is the last one. So
we got some stuff.
This is the one last thing. When we moved here, the informed delivery, what they do is that if you have it still set up or whatever, they actually put a code in when you get the actual letter to put in or whatever. These motherfuckers still got the address wrong. They didn't even put it's not that they got the address wrong. They didn't put the apartment number. So guess what? When I got my informed delivery one day, I saw everybody's email. Everybody's mail. Sorry, everybody's mail.
What? For the whole building?
For the entire building. Because they just put it without an apartment number. They literally just put everything.
Everything. All of it. I see everybody's mail.
Yo, that's wild.
Shit was crazy. I had to go back, read.
It'd be like, excuse me.
This is not.
This is not my. I don't want all this mail.
I just want this. I want an eyes view, not the whole thing.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
All right, that's it.
I guess our point on this whole rant is
don't trust
when you move, change your damn address.
Yeah, and if you do,
and make sure that USPS is actually doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, like USPS, get your fucking shit together.
All right, we gotta get off this.
I'm good. Yeah, so there's that. I've been dealing with that. I had a pipe burst in that cold snap that we had. Yeah, so I had a pipe burst in the basement.
Oh my gosh, that's such a pain.
Windows. I realized that the previous owners, again, fuck those guys. All of the windows in the basements were not actually meant to be basement windows. So none of them fit properly. And I had this whole week where one of them kept opening and my security system kept going off. So I kept having to rush back home thinking like somebody broke into my house when really it was just like the window just stopped fitting properly. So then I had to get all my windows replaced. So it was just a whole bunch of just homeowner stuff that I was dealing with. I did travel. I ended up taking a trip to Hawaii to see my homegirl. I think I might have talked about that last season. But I found this bomb flight deal, and I was just like, I guess I'm going to Hawaii because I had said I wasn't going to travel last year. But I mean, when you find a deal like the one I found,
a good deal.
It was under $500 round trip.
That's good
to fly to Hawaii. And because she lives there, I'm like, I'm not paying for a hotel. I'm not paying for nothing.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going. So I did that, and then planning some trips this year. Did a bunch of I just socialized a lot more than I planned on.
Between us like ending last season and now.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go and be a hermit and study.
I was, and I did not do as well as I intended. So as of today, I do not have my PMP yet. I have failed you guys. Because life, not just because I was socializing, but work did get really, really hectic. You know how it is when you're in corporate year end, a lot of people get laid off. Yeah. And those of us that are left behind have to pick up that slack. Yeah. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of work traveling, a lot of just like not being around to be able to focus and study the way I wanted to. And I did date a guy. Don't get excited. Notice it was past tense.
Date a guy.
I dated a man. I met him on, what was that app? Tagged? Yes.
What the fuck?
That's a new one.
I've never heard of that shit.
Apparently, it's not new. It's just new to me because I've been out the game for so long. So, because I was looking for like a black dating app, and I didn't want to do Soul Swipe again. I didn't want to do, there's another one that's like, for black professionals, it's trash. If I could remember the name, I would tell y'all, but y'all probably know because it's trash. And like I found this one, and then it ended up being bought by Tagged. So that's how I ended up using Tagged. So I got two propositions to be a sugar baby.
What?
And
right on the app? Like straight off the app?
Straight off the app. Mind you, if y'all know me, I am not none of my pictures would make you think that I'm out here trying to be somebody's sugar baby. Like, nothing. Legit, they're like selfies, very wholesome. I'm not saying I'm just like in turtlenecks and all that shit, but I just felt like there was nothing about this profile that should make you think, yo, she looking for a sugar daddy. I'm about to be that for her. But I had two propositions. One of them, I was just like, hold up, wait a minute, maybe.
Wow.
Because I got a whole ass mortgage to pay, but I didn't do it. So I did match with one dude. I was only on this app for like 2 days. Because after all of that, it was just a bombardment of
You're just
dudes,
like, what kind of app is this?
Word. And I was just like, you know what, this ain't for me. This ain't
hitting. It's like, talk about what life goals like people like decide on for this app.
And then, no offense, but just a lot of people that I did speak with, it was either they were mutes. So it was like, we would have a good first conversation. And then the second one would be like, did you die? Like, what happened?
So they just kept ghosting.
Kind of. Because it would be like, hey, yeah, we should link up. And then I'd be like, cool. And I don't know if it's because I wasn't showing as much enthusiasm as they wanted. I'd be like, yeah, so let's exchange numbers. And then I'd be like, you know what? No, I'm good. One dude I did exchange numbers with two guys, right? The first guy was just like, yeah, I can't wait to see more pictures of you. Just like,
oh my gosh, not that one.
Always.
Hate that
There's
one.
always that one. And I didn't respond to him. And then I swear to you guys, he hit me up maybe like a month later. I was just like, hey. And I was just like, oh, you know what? I haven't spoken to him. Like, let's see what's good. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, yeah, send me some pics. And we're done.
We're over.
Like, we're done. Blocked. Not even going to try with this one. But the dude that I actually did give a chance. Because y'all know how people love to say that women who are more educated or have accomplished stuff have high standards, or their standards are too high. So it's just like, I'm not going to be that chick. So when I explain all of this, just know it's because I was trying to be open. Okay. So he worked at a grocery store, not as a manager.
He was bagging groceries. He was a cashier.
He was like a stock boy.
Ooh.
I was being very open.
You're being open about them groceries.
But he gotta eat the booty like groceries.
Yeah.
I was just like, maybe he doesn't have a 4-year degree, but that's fine. Like, we could still have a good conversation. And we did. Conversation was great. But then I realized he was just a liar.
Like, what was he lie about?
Lied about so much stuff. Because, of course, we're starting online, and then we take it to the phone.
Yeah.
We talked a few times. And, of course, height comes up. Hey, how tall are you? He's like, why? Do you have a requirement? I'm just like, just taller than me. I'm 5'2.5". It's not asking for much because I'm 5'2.5". And he's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely taller than you. I'm just like, okay, then how tall?
Like
He's just
5'3"?
like, probably like 5'6". I'm just like, okay.
But like, it's not like what I was looking for, but okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna front because normally I do have like I'm just like 5'10".
Mbaku status. She's with that Mbaku.
I mean, you don't have to 6'4", but
230 pounds chisel ass. Mr. Trini himself,
if
Winston
he's out
Duke.
there and you're bald and bearded, holla at your girl. No, but I was just like 5'6". I could deal with that.
Yeah.
Can I tell y'all the day that I met this man, I'm taller than him. Yeah, I think Lina D just threw up in her mouth.
What's she like?
But like, how do you lie about that?
Like,
Was he gonna wear some fucking heels or something when he went on your first date? Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like,
how do you lie about
did you
that?
think I wasn't gonna notice? I'm short. You know what happens when you're short? You're good at gauging people's heights.
Yes.
So it's just like, okay, you know what? People lie about their height all the time. Maybe I'm one of the few that's very accurate, 5'2.5". Y'all heard me say it. But guys lie about their height. So I was just like, I'm gonna let him rock. He was, if you know anything about me, I do like anime. And he did too.
Crunchyroll.
So he did too. So we kind of like, we meshed on that. So it's just like, oh my God, have you watched this one? Have you watched this? And we're like, oh, we could watch them together. It's like, okay, cool. We could be weird together. It's fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem.
Right.
And then he would lie about like.
So wait, he did not really watch?
No, he did lie.
Okay.
But what he lied about was how much he watched it. So he's like, I only watch it every so often, every once in a while, because I was like, I'm definitely not into it as much as I used to be.
Right.
Right. And he's just like, oh yeah, me too. And then it's just like, yeah, I watch it all the time. That's like all I do.
What?
I'm like, oh, okay. That's a thing.
So he was basically like a lying people pleaser, kind of?
Yeah.
Like,
so, I remember I was telling one of my friends about it, and
Is he
he's
black?
just like, yeah.
Oh.
I told you I was on a black dating app.
Oh,
Clearly,
okay.
I don't know. Some of them be filtering in.
Yeah.
I had a goal. Okay,
The goal.
I had a vision. The dude that was asking for pics actually wasn't, and I was just like, "See, this is what happens when I try to date outside my race." God damn it!
Was he white?
No.
Oh. He was Latino.
Possibly either Latino or Middle Eastern.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get that far in the conversations.
Oh,
Yeah, because all he was asking for was pictures.
Exactly.
So annoying.
I'm just like,
Remember my rule. If they ask for pictures, send another guy's dick. That shit will stop.
I didn't even
right away.
I didn't want to do that. I was just like, you're not even worth that trouble.
Google images, dick pics, send them one. Like a cartoon one.
You trying to get me cursed out in the streets? So what was the other thing? Like he would lie about, this wasn't a lie, but for me it was just like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. He didn't eat vegetables.
What? Why?
As an adult. As a grown ass adult.
Like he literally would pick them out?
I don't like vegetables. Yes. So like he had come over one day, I had cooked. And I think I made pasta. And
tomatoes.
You put tomatoes,
or
you
little
put peppers, onions, all of that stuff in your sauce, because when you make it from scratch, that's what you do.
And it gives it flavor.
He was legit like picking it out. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is going to be a problem. And then the kicker for me, he was like, yeah, I really don't like water. And I was like, I looked him dead in his face. I was like, you're going to die. Like on some real shit. You're gonna die, because there's no way you're an adult and you don't drink water and you don't eat vegetables. You're going to die.
Yes,
you're gonna die.
This dude sounds like that.
And he wasn't fat.
He was.
This dude sounds like a hood ornament.
Okay,
he was pudgy.
This dude sounds like he sound like a hood ornament.
How was he like not like,
it's true,
like
though.
dead?
He do
right? He should be dead.
Wait.
This dude living that project
and then what
lifestyle.
Killed me was that he was he was from here.
Yeah,
but he had lived in Jamaica for a few years.
Jamaica.
Well, I'd be from Jamaica, man. Not a mercy.
So
I'm sure that
he had
rice and peas
no
and jerk chicken.
Jamaicanness about him.
Oh.
Which was like,
so he wasn't Jamaican.
This is weird.
No,
because he's Jamaican. His parents are Jamaican.
He's Jamaican.
Lived in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Huh.
But was like, he's like, yeah, I don't have an accent. I'm not this. And I'm just like, I'm very in tune with my Caribbeanness. And I'm not saying that I want you to be out here speaking.
Me want rice and peas. Me want jerk chicken.
But like, he couldn't even fake an accent. And I was just like, this is problematic.
I'm sorry, what?
What the fuck?
This guy's like an American blurred.
Yeah.
Black
So I was just
nerd.
like, you know what? I'm good.
Shit.
I'm good. I think. So the comment that one of my friends made, he was like, he seems like the type of guy that you would bring around that people would be surprised that you're dating him. And I was like,
shit.
damn.
That's
but you're right.
Yeah.
Because if any of y'all met him, y'all be like, so this is him? Okay, cool.
It's like, oh.
And then give me the screw face, like,
yeah.
You have options.
No. They would be like, they would pull you to the side and be like,
is this a joke?
Yeah, you okay, right? You okay?
Is the dick good?
It's like, did you lose a bet? Like,
what happened? So I'm just like, when he said that, I was just like, you know what? You right, because nobody would believe that I'm dating this guy. So I really just found any excuse that I could just to end it. And as soon as he gave me one excuse and one reason, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm out. Sorry.
Bye.
He's like, I can't get another chance. Nope. It's like, you fucked up. You fucked up and you hurt me. I'm like,
I started crying.
I didn't, but I was just, I played that shit because I'm just like, I want him to feel like, yo, I really did wrong. And I can't get this back.
You should have cried.
If I could have, I would have. But I was just like, oh, Lord Jesus, thank you so much.
Wait, but wait.
You gave me my out.
All right. Do you mind me asking what he did?
What?
What did he do?
Oh, so we're supposed to hang out.
Yeah.
And it was to the point that I wasn't telling him my days off. That was another thing he would lie about. He would lie about the days off that he had, or what shift he was working. Like really stupid shit.
Why?
That made no sense. So it'd be like, oh, I thought you were working. I thought you said you were like working at 7 a.m. this morning. Yeah, no, I'm not. And then like hit him up later on, like around 9 or something. Just like, yeah, I just got to work. He's like, yeah, me too. Like work is crazy. I thought you said you wasn't working.
Yeah.
Like, why are you lying about stupid shit like this? You
don't have to lie about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a day that I was off. And he had asked if like he could come hang out. And it's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Right.
So I had run a bunch of errands. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be home around 4. Or I'm gonna be home around 3. He's like, okay, so I'll come around 4 because I want to give you some time like to settle in and put your groceries away and all that jazz, right? I'm like, cool.
Right.
What do you want to eat? Because I'm starving, so I'm gonna cook something. So I cook. It's 4:00.
He's not there.
And he's just like, hey, I'm doing something for my mom real quick. I'll probably be there around like 5 or 6.
Right.
Okay, fine. Okay. Not a problem.
I'm still going to eat though.
Exactly. That's what I told him. I legit said that. I was just like, the food's going to be cold because I'm not going to wait. Like, what the fuck? Right. So, it's like 7:00.
Yo.
He has not called. He hasn't shown up. No, nothing. So it's like 9:00.
Yeah, that's totally grounds. Like I would have been like, never come over ever.
I didn't even say anything. I want to say it was like when I was going to bed, and I was just like, "Great seeing you," because I'm Fetty.
Yeah,
like, great seeing you. Didn't respond. Mind you, this is someone like the whole time we've been talking. Like he's up until like 2 a.m. and wakes up super early. Also, so I'm just like, this is strange. So the next day he hits me up and he's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was on the phone. I ended up getting into an argument with my mom. I was really upset and I ended up falling asleep when I got off the phone at 9:00.
But weren't you supposed to be coming over?
But my dudes, what you mean you fell asleep at 9:00? You've never fallen asleep that early before. And furthermore, while you were on the phone with your mom, you definitely could have stopped to send me a text and be like, hey, I'm not going to make it anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, or when you got off the phone before you just randomly passed out, you could have been like, hey, I'm not going to make it anymore. Sorry.
He went on another date.
I don't give a fuck. That was like, so when I say like, I pretend I was upset because A, you wasted my time.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to cook as much food as I did, but leftovers. But secondly, I just wasn't too upset because it was just like, I wanted to end this anyway.
Yeah.
You're like,
cool.
Perfect.
I'm just going to pretend like I'm really mad to make you feel bad. But I was like, yeah, I'm good. So that ended in like November.
I ended in a train wreck.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like
that's good though.
Oh, good thing it wasn't last year though. That means you got good vibes this year. No like bad dating vibes.
And I'm just like, I'm just not interested like in trying to date right now or at all. Because
I mean, it sounds like this app is just a terrible app.
Oh yeah, the app was trash. Well, I mean, I can't say the app is trash. It's the people that are on the app.
Right, but what is the app doing to attract ain't trash people? Obviously, it's only attracting trash people from the men's side.
We can say that from Tinder.
We can say that about any app that's out
yeah,
there.
we can say that for any of them.
Yeah, for real. Except eHarmony, and I
don't even believe that.
I don't even believe that shit either. Yeah.
So yeah, that was
damn.
That's what I've been up to.
Well, good riddance.
Oh yeah, like he kept hitting me up because you know how dudes do, or people. I'm not gonna say dudes because women are like that too. It's just like,
they
can
can't
I have
just
another
leave.
chance? It's just like, no.
I'm glad you deleted all
Go
that
away.
shit.
Go away.
And I think it was finally at the beginning of this year where he was just like, so do I really just not have a chance at all? I was like, yeah, no.
Nah, chill, B.
Why would you think that you did?
Wait, what
I
made
haven't
you think
seen
that
you
I
or
would-
spoken to you.
It's what makes you think that I even care about your existence anymore.
And like he started up like sending the good morning text again. And I'm not gonna front, I did like that. He brought me flowers one time, so he had his good parts. Like it was not all trash, which is why like it lasted the month and a half, 2 months that it did. Excuse me. But I was just like, it doesn't outweigh the trashy part.
Right. It doesn't.
So
you definitely have to be like good enough and then still have your good qualities, not just like.
And I'm not saying my friends are the most important thing, but if I can't bring you among my friends and know that we'll all be comfortable, like that's a problem for me.
Dude, you're an embarrassment.
Right?
And
it's like, and it's not because because you like anime. It's not because you're like kind of an introvert or kind of nerdy. Because I am too.
She wants
but
Mbaku. That's it.
It's not even because you're short. Like
Winston Duke status.
I can look past that if everything else, like if your personality will carry you. But then when you add in the fact that you're just lying about stupid stuff, like. Why would
it's like you're like a pathological liar?
Season 2 has to be dedicated for us getting somebody from the Jabari tribe for Maddie.
Guest episode.
we gotta get. If you gotta slide into her DM, you gotta show her what you're working with.
Do
your
not
body
send
and all
me a dick pic.
No dick pics. No, just send body pics. Send like we got to do like the Winston Duke challenge.
And I will say, I am still celibate, so please don't get hyped. Like, it's not even about that. But I'm really good cuddle partner. If you're willing to settle for that.
As long as we're talking about it up front, then everybody has the right expectations.
Pretty much. And we talked about this before. Any guy that like finds out that I'm celibate, in his head is just like, for now. So...
But that's on them, though.
Yeah, I've yet to have a dude be like, "Oh, you celibate? Nah, I can't do that," and just leave.
Oh, did he try it with you though? Was he like, "Oh, yo, so what that mouth do though?" Not
like that. So it's not like he was just like, "So we fucking tonight?" But he would be like, "So you want to stay over? Do you mind if I stay over?" And then hope something will happen. I'm just like, "Sir, you have no idea. I have the will of." Fucking Yoda, okay? Yeah. I can lay in this bed with you and ain't shit gonna pop off.
Especially when I'm not even really that attracted to you.
Word.
Pow.
Especially because you lied about your height.
Like, sir, my feet go further than yours as we lay in this bed. No, I am not doing this shit.
That's crazy. Oh, man.
You lying ass.
Short, pudgy.
But yeah, so that was...
I have to wonder what he ate in Jamaica because they got rice and peas. They got jerk chicken. They got all kinds of...
I have no idea.
Yeah, but just like the meat.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't eat any of the vegetables. I think I made like chicken and broccoli one night and he legit picked out the broccoli.
That's insane. I love
broccoli. He ate the chicken, he ate the rice, and I'm just like, it's broccoli. Who doesn't like broccoli?
Broccoli's delicious.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
so yeah, that was just like, this man's gonna die. Like,
why am I gonna die?
Why am I gonna invest all this time and energy into someone who's not gonna live past 40? No.
Yo,
sorry.
I can't.
If there's anybody out there that was gonna slide in my DMs from Jabari who don't eat vegetables and don't drink water, stay where you at.
You gotta at least drink some water.
Like sparkling water, put some Crystal Light in there, do something, but just drink some damn water. Stay hydrated.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Ugh, it's crazy. All right.
Crazy.
Anyway, so yeah.
Oh, Lina D. Yeah.
So I mean,
that's crazy.
I don't have any dating stories about people that
don't drink water
or lie about their dick penises size or whatever.
Right now.
Wait, he didn't do that.
I mean, he might as well have.
You're right. If he's lying about his height, he probably would have lied about that too. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, like, once you lie about that, it's like, which body part would you not lie about? Like,
man. How can you eat pizza? It's got tomatoes in it. The fuck?
All right, we're done. We're done with that.
All right.
But that is how it was when he told me. I was just like, what do you eat?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been, what have I been up to? We did go traveling. Traveling was really fun. I picked up a new hobby while we were traveling. So usually, whenever we go travel, I of course love doing like new things and touring and going to different places. We went to the Canary Islands this year, and I did a mini sola trip to Madrid. So I left a couple of days early and just kind of wandered around Madrid. It was nice. I did expect a little bit more from Madrid. This was the first time that I've actually been out in Spain, and everybody that usually talks about going to usually other cities in Spain, not Madrid, they always have great things to say about it. But I was still pretty excited. I was hoping that the people that had told me that Madrid was kind of like boring and like the people there weren't super friendly, like I was hoping that they were wrong, but it was like they weren't.
Oh, okay.
So
duly noted.
So Madrid, if you haven't been before, I still recommend going because I always think that you should at least experience a city for yourself, and like you'll find like there's still like really nice like views and a couple of rooftops and stuff. But it was very interesting, like just the dynamic of being there, and then so you meet like the Spaniards that are from there. And they're all just very super, I guess you could say they're super proud of being from Madrid, but then they can't stop talking about how Madrid is so much better than any other place.
Oh, wow.
And it was super funny because I guess like they would realize that I spoke Spanish, but because I don't have the accent, they obviously didn't know, they knew that I wasn't from there. But they couldn't be pissed off about me not at least being able to communicate with them and like have an actual conversation. But then they'll be like, oh, so you're here, like you're visiting, how long are you visiting for? And I was like, well, I'm only here for 2 days. Like I'm headed to the Canary Islands afterwards. And they're like, oh, why would you want to go there? Like it's not as great as Madrid.
Shut up.
And I was just like, well, it's still part of like your Spanish like territory, like it's still a part of your country. And they're like, yeah, no, they're like, you know, Madrid is real and blah, blah, blah. And like, you're going to miss out. Like you didn't plan enough days to be here. And I was like, well, honestly, it's cold as fuck here. Like I could have just stayed home, but because I am traveling, I want to go somewhere where it's nice and warm and tropical and I can actually enjoy the sun in the middle of winter.
Not bougie ass people.
And they're like, oh, well, where are you from? And then I'm like, oh, I'm from New York. And they're like, oh, like, what, the state of New York? I'm like, no, I live in the city. Like, I'm from New York City.
What the hell?
And they're like, oh, you live in New York City? And then I felt like they were almost like offended that they couldn't be as bougie around me because
you're from New York. Yeah, get at me, bitch.
Or like because I'm like there vacationing, and they're like, I don't know. It was the strangest thing, but kind of like snooty. I didn't experience like any racism, but I have heard stories of like people that do experience a lot of like discrimination and racism there. I was fine, I think, on that end, which I always feel fortunate when I don't have to deal with that bullshit. But but
you should get a little tanner, see what happens.
Yeah, good thing it was like on my way to the Canary Islands, not from the Canary Islands.
You would have had a very different experience from the sound of it.
Right, it's just like, what? I did kind of experience two really weird incidences of like, and I think towards the last of 2018, there were a lot of stories around like just women that travel on their own and just how unsafe, regardless of where you're going, women really are being solo travelers. Like the fact that, you know, there really isn't just the ability to walk anywhere and feel safe. And so there was a couple of articles that I'm now just remembering that I read last year. One of them about a woman that talked about her experience of getting molested in the middle of India. Like men would just kind of walk around her and grope her. Oh, wow. Because she was just a woman that was by herself. And so they felt like it was easy to just access her. But then there was an even scarier story about a woman, I think she was a Mexican musician that had gone out to Costa Rica, and she was traveling on her own, I think, before she was coming back to start a big tour. Like she was kicking off an album release, and she had gone out to Costa Rica just to travel, and she was with a group of other also solo travelers or people that were traveling for the first time together.
Right.
And she ended up just being out really late one night with another girl. Like, I think it was a British girl. And on the way back, they decided to cut through like
never a good idea.
Yeah, never a good idea. But they decided to cut through like the ocean, like kind of where the beach was at.
Yeah.
And she got murdered and raped like on the beach.
Wow.
And like they dumped her body. Like the other woman was able to escape and she was able to get help. But by the time they got back, like she was already dead.
Oh my God.
And so it was just like a very like traumatizing thing where it's just like, wow, it's like as a woman, you have to be even more hyper alert when you're traveling and you're not in a place that you really recognize. It's like kind of not your normal day to day. And so I'm always on hyper alert whenever I'm traveling, whether I'm by myself. Actually, when I'm with Westley, I don't really pay as much attention to it because I feel like, oh, well, Wesley's usually
he'll save the day.
I'm like, Wesley's usually even more aware of his surroundings than I am, so I don't even overthink it. But
I call it a hood sixth sense.
And I'm not even gonna front. I'm not gonna front because like people always bring up articles or stories like that when I tell them that I travel by myself a lot. And I always attribute my hyper awareness to being from New York. And then even more so from being from the hood, because you're just always going to be aware. And I don't think I ever like let my guard down to be like, oh, I'm traveling and this is so wonderful. And I think a lot of people end up feeling like that because they're like, oh, you know, what could possibly happen when I'm on vacation?
Right. It's like
and
YOLO
like,
attitude.
Everything can happen. But what's funny is, Lina D, you never told us what hobby you picked up though.
Oh,
you definitely went off.
I went off on this whole tangent on this other stuff. But, because I haven't gotten to the Canary Islands part of the story yet. But anyway, the scary thing is that I had two incidences. One incident where this guy came up to me and he was talking to me about the fact that he had like product that he was selling. Like he was there for a beauty or perfume conference or something.
Nope. Did you see Miss Bala?
Nope. Don't you. Yo, and this is going to sound really messed up, but when you said all this product that he was selling, my mind immediately went to drugs. I don't know why. I was like,
he's trying to move his weight.
No,
I got a job. Chill.
No,
she's about to become a drug dealer.
Yeah.
It was up to Westley. What the hell?
She's the queen of the South.
Sorry,
but no, but he's like, oh, I have these perfumes, and I was like, you do? Let me see them. Like, I'm like standing in a corner where like it's by the street,
come into this dark
and
alley.
He's like, oh, and he had a bag with like a few of them, and then I was like, okay, and I was like, I thought you had a lot, and then he's like, well, if you come with me, and I was like, no, let me see what you have right now, and they were actually really good deals. Like these were like, you know, Carolina Herrera, like all these other like really good like high end perfumes that he was selling for, you know, like €20. At least that's kind of like down what I talked him to.
Okay.
And so then I was like, well, I like these. I'll take these. And then he didn't have change. And so
again, come down this dark alley
like,
with
oh,
me.
well, if you come with me. He's like, well, if you come with me.
If you come with me into this dark alley.
I was like, you know what? I'll just get one here. And he's like, no, that's fine. You can take both of them. But he's like, but I can walk with you. And I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was like,
he
we're
really
good.
Liked you.
He really was just
he was like, I have a buyer for you.
He's like, he literally took like 3 times. He was like, well, if you come with me. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm not. I was like, I'm going in this direction. No. I'm not going anywhere else. And then I was just like, okay, well, I dodged a bullet on that one. And then I like walked over to where it was like populated. And I kind of just stood there and made sure that nobody was following me.
For real.
And then I like went off with, I was just like, this is insane. Second instance was when I was in my Airbnb, which is even weirder. And I was getting ready. And then all of a sudden, like somebody starts buzzing, buzzing the apartment that I was staying in. And then I was like, to get in? Yeah, to get in. And I was like, that's odd. But I texted the owner and I was like, hey, are you expecting somebody else to come here? Or are you expecting some sort of delivery? And he's like, no, you're good. Like, don't open it. Like, I don't know what that is. And so I go on, continue getting ready. And then all of a sudden it starts again. And so I had this place had like a curtain on the main. It was like a glass door, but it had a curtain that you would close it, obviously, so nobody can see inside. And so I had it open. So I was like, maybe it's because they see that it's open. Let me go close it.
Yeah.
And so as I'm closing it, I look and there's somebody staring into the window. And so the way that this place was set up is that there was the main door. There was a window right next to the door. And then there was a little balcony that you walk through. And then that's how you got into the apartment.
Oh.
And so then there's literally a guy just standing there. And he starts waving and going like this. And so I close the curtain and then he continues to like buzz the door, and I just ignored it. Finally, he went away. Later that day, I go to see, like, I actually go to see, I was like, you know, I never realized that the window, like, I never realized that there was a window there.
Yeah.
But it was because this window is, like, placed at, like, 6 feet above. Like, I can't even, like, see the window. It's not in my range of vision. So, like, there's this, like, huge-ass tall man trying to get into the apartment that I'm staying in, and it's literally just staring there at me. And I'm like, this is so fucking creepy. I'm like, this is how, like, women end up getting abducted, because there are these creepy-ass men that do these things, but sometimes you're not even paying attention to what's happening, and then you just kind of, like, are so trusting. And so it's like, no, you always have to have high alert.
Always. Like,
so that was super creepy. And then I had a dream that, like, there was, like, a ghost that was trying to, like, grab me from the bed. But I feel like that was more of my sleep paralysis. But it just kind of, like, that was, like, the third entity that was, like, after my life.
Here we go.
Yep.
But anyway.
I'll say a prayer for Lina D.
On a new episode of Ghost Hunters.
Oh, no. What was that show on Netflix?
Which one?
The House.
The House on The Haunting of Hill House?
Yes.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's what it was.
That was a good one.
It's future you trying to pull you out the bed and be like, bitch, get up. There's a man staring at you.
Oh.
Sorry if I just ruined it for anybody that hasn't watched it yet.
It's still good. You should still watch it.
Yeah, you should.
But so that was Madrid. So can you believe all that stuff happened in the matter of a day and a half?
Like,
that's literally the only time that I was there.
And here they go talking about you're not spending enough time here. Nope, I've had enough.
Like,
that's absolutely enough. Thank you. Good day.
And then when we went to the Canary Islands, that was awesome. My favorite island was Tenerife. What was the first island we went to? I forgot about it already because it wasn't my favorite.
No, it wasn't.
But
Lanzarote.
Lanzarote. Yeah, we went to Lanzarote and Tenerife. But Lanzarote wasn't. It was just more of a like European vacation island, and it was just kind of boring and touristy. Okay. And then like the tourists had never seen like black or brown people before, so it was super annoying. Just getting stares all the time.
So how long have you guys been in the sun? I was born like this. Asshole.
It's like, oh, you're not burnt. It's like, we get so red. It's like, get out of my face, lobster.
Face lobster.
Oh, shit.
Yo, man.
He's called a lobster.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's so good.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm sorry, go.
But picked up hiking, like, while I was out there.
30 years later, we finally got to the hobby.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I tell stories, there's
Lina
like
D
a
almost
lot
got
to
abducted. Lina D almost had a break-in.
Yeah.
Lina D got all types of Spanish shade.
And hiking.
And then she picked up hiking. Oh. Okay, so you picked up hiking.
We picked up hiking. We went
did you actually pick up hiking? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He started complaining maybe like a third of the way into the hike.
No. Not a third.
Was it a half?
2/3 of the way in. I was complaining, number one, because this is what Lina D would do, right? We're going up this hill.
I'm so excited to hear this.
We're going up this fucking hill, right? No offense. Now we're about, I don't know, 10,000 meters up. And what 10,000 meters in feet? It's like 3.
Because you know that's exactly what I was just searching, right?
Yeah. 10,000 meters up.
Feet. Hold on.
Maybe I'm wrong. Was it 1,000 meters or 10,000?
For those of us who...
It was, I don't want to, I actually don't remember. Like,
you said 10,000?
Yeah. It couldn't have been 10,000. No.
I was about to say, what the hell were y'all doing?
No. I think it was
1,000 is 3,000.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Sorry, then I put another 0. We're 1,000 meters up, right? And the trail isn't all that big, So
it's literally it's cliffs. Like at some points
I
you're
would
like
assume so at 3,000 feet.
Like you're hiking up and there's like little cliffs and you have to like make sure that you're not going to jump into
and die
into the barranco, which is what they call them.
It was like, oh, I want to do a selfie every 5 minutes.
No, only when there was a nice view.
That's how most tourists die.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to take selfies.
So finally,
Lina D.
Like I got my camera attached to me, but I'm not really taking pictures
because you're trying to live.
Bingo. This one
this
over
what
here.
You from the hood?
Yeah.
We're just trying to make it out of this bitch.
This one over here decides that I got her a camera for Christmas, and the camera has like you can flip the screen up so you can do selfies and shit like that.
Okay.
And yeah, this one over here every 10 minutes. Oh, this scenery is beautiful, more beautiful than the last one I was at 10 minutes ago. Let's take a selfie, babe. And I'm like, finally, I said, Lina D, put the shit away. Let's go. Because why? Why are we doing all this?
Because it's pretty.
It's pretty. Anyway, but the hike, it was a very long.
It was long. It was a whole 8 hours.
It was a long
hike.
It's
3,000.
So I never thought that I would say to myself that I would enjoy going downstairs. But get this. The third of the way is down.
Okay.
And let's be honest here. There's cactus everywhere. There's one white dude. This is hilarious. This one German white dude. He was just like, dude, I think he was suffering from dehydration because every time we go down a little bit, and this is not it's like unpaved.
It's a hiking trail.
Yeah, it's an unpaved trail. There's rocks and stuff everywhere. Yeah. So this guy slips. He's like, and the first thing he grabs is a fucking cactus. And he's like, oh shit. Yo, so he starts going all crazy and shit.
Because he almost fell down the cliff.
He almost fell on me. And I was like, bruh, just...
I'm not here to save your life. I'm just trying to save my own.
I'm going to let you fall, B. Between me and you, I'm playing with your life first. You're not playing with mine.
He's like, I will save lives. That's how I do.
I'm not saving your life. But this was like mostly German. We were with a lot of Germans.
And they were talking the only ones that were not German.
We were the ones that were not German. Yes. But they were talking to us and stuff, and they were pretending it's like, in America, because the guy cut the cactus because he was really experienced. This America, there's water in the cactus. I'm like, no, there isn't. Fuck out of here. What are you talking about?
Like, what Western movies you watching?
Like, yo, just because Clint Eastwood does shit like that and his movies don't mean that's real, okay?
That's hilarious.
So,
oh, man.
But he was just making fun and stuff. Yeah. But it was good. It was cool.
It was nice when we got to like the middle, and it's very deceiving because you're like, oh, we're at the middle of the hike now, which makes it think like, oh, well, the rest of it from here, it's going to be downhill, which it was downhill, but it was even harder than going uphill.
Yeah.
Because of all of the cliffs steep. And stuff and like the cacti and all that stuff. It was like
when people go downstairs, you're like, oh, it feels good to go down some stairs rather than go up.
Yeah.
When you're going down the stairs, feel like for 3 hours, you don't want to go downstairs no more. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh man!
But it was good though, because when we got to a little town, we ate some food. Food was really good.
I had some goat and some goat's milk cheese kind of stuff.
Yeah, she had goat. She had all kinds of goat. I had chicken because it's chicken.
I feel like the only time you eat goat is if I cook it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he doesn't.
You're like ridiculous.
Nah, yeah.
I love goat. But
it was good though.
It was good.
But what jammed me up was that I didn't bring enough water. So I brought a 21 ounce thing of like basically for an 8 hour trip.
What do you think you were doing?
I don't know. I fucked up because when I got home, man, going down the hill, my thighs were all shaking and shit. I was like, oh fuck, it's no good. But I finally got home. Man, I was sore for like 5 days straight. Couldn't move.
Yeah, that hurts.
Man.
It was fun though.
It was fun though.
And so then after that, we went on Wesley's birthday trip, and we went doing hiking too in the Red Rock Canyon. In like Vegas.
In Vegas, that was cool. We met like what's his account?
Something about Safari or something.
Yeah.
Las
but
Vegas Safari.
His name is Garrett. Okay. I'll plug his gram inside the episode description. But he was cool, man. Like, I mean, super cool. was teaching me how to see things from like a photography perspective. That's another thing I was working on with some photography stuff.
Nice.
But it was great. It was great. We had like dinner with him. We had the most interesting conversation in a Korean restaurant of all things.
We went to a Korean barbecue.
Yeah, we were talking about boudoir photography. So it was cool. He's a cool dude. So
it was fun.
Yeah. So I recommend everybody who wants like a Vegas experience. But because we didn't really do a lot of hiking, there wasn't like that kind of hiking. It was trails and stuff, and the trails were pretty level. Wow. Yeah, but if you want to take some real cool photography of some places that as off the trail, definitely.
But he did say that if you wanted to do more intense hiking, like he basically tailors the workshop to like what people are really looking for.
Right.
Okay.
And so it was nice. We lucked out and we were like the only people that were on the tour. So it was literally like the three of us the entire time.
And it's a side of Vegas that I'd never seen before. And it is like, it's surprising how close to the strip it is to getting to this canyon. So I definitely recommend that everybody go check it out at least once.
And that's like a new thing whenever I travel now, it's like I always want to fit in some sort of hiking because you see like another part of the place that you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Shit, like 5 miles away from the strip. Like it's not that far.
So it was a good time.
So it was good times.
We welcome you guys. Because I was always big on doing that on most of my trips.
Oh, you always do like hiking? That's awesome.
Something off the map. Yeah.
Okay.
Just because exactly what you said, you get a totally different perspective.
Yep.
And the views are just always so amazing.
Yeah.
Like you can't top the views. I think in Hawaii, we didn't go hiking because we didn't have enough time when we were in Honolulu. But when we were in Kona, we did a cave excursion.
Oh, that's
which
fun.
I was thinking in my head, I was just like, I'm not doing this shit.
Fucking bats and I can't touch the walls and shit.
There's some parts you're going to have to crawl. And I was like, we're not doing that. No.
You're just like crawling half a mile.
Yeah. It's like the kids love it. Sir, do I look like a child? No. But that was
love it. That's the worst thing.
The kids love it.
But I definitely recommend like whenever you go on a trip to find something that's outside of the typical touristy stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just always a better experience, I think.
Yeah, we learn. And
just, don't go by yourself down a dark alley with some man that's trying to sell you perfume.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. Did not do that.
And
I would say
do official tours.
we learned some stuff about like, people ain't shit.
You just learned that?
Oh, I learned it a long time ago.
Learn it again.
But literally, I have to say it again. Like, people are not shit because they take some of the lands. Like, there's one we went to. There was a little house that we went to, like a little farm, and it's like a what do you call it? Like a state preserved land or something like that.
Yeah, it was like the state park.
Yeah, the state. Yeah. I don't know if it was a park. It was a reserve of some kind because it was like a farmhouse. Okay. But it doesn't matter. But there was a lake, and what some dickhead decided to do was that he decided to dump his aquarium into the lake, which fucked up the whole ecosystem. Of the entire lake. And now they had to pump the water out. They had to save the animals. They had to get I guess it was like
whatever he introduced.
Whatever they introduced in, and then they had to reintroduce the life back,
the local stuff.
Fish back into the. It was crazy. It was crazy. So.
Oh, fun story from our caves, because they're formed by the volcanoes. So he's telling us, like when we were going there, you'll notice like it's just nothing there, just like the black, like the magma and stuff from the volcanoes. So he's like, people would buy up the land and then make it so that it was private, so you couldn't explore the caves that were underneath. And he's just like, it's crazy because there's so much that you could be seeing, could be exploring. He's like, and there's people that don't even explore it. It's not like because they want to keep it to themselves or they don't want
to shut people out.
Yeah, they just want to shut people out. So it's like, I'm purposely buying this just to keep you out.
Yeah.
For no other reason than to be a dick.
Right.
And I'm just like, ooh, I wish I had money just so I could like try to buy it off of them and be like, everyone can cave.
Right.
It's like you make it a park.
Absolutely. I'm like, yo, you guys make so much money off of this. And just for researchers, like they won't let anybody use any of this property. Yeah. And it's like, why? Why are y'all like this?
Well, I mean, a part of it is good because then people aren't introduced into the environment. Like they keep it the way it is. I would hope.
I would at least open it to like a researcher.
Yeah, I would do that.
Like,
at least.
But they're like, no,
we don't.
Like they have the biggest area. And it was just like, yeah, we're not letting anyone on here. Not because we want to do anything with it. We just don't want you here. It's like, if they were natives, then I would be like, hell yeah, do that. But they're not.
Right.
Like, you're not about to come buy up property in my space and then tell me that I can't use it. Like,
that's
fuck
crazy.
you.
Well,
colonizer. I said it.
Well, there is like in Lanzarote and more Lanzarote than Tenerife. That there's like a lot of volcanic activity on that island. To a point where they don't let you, both. But especially in Lanzarote, they don't let you go past a certain point because they're still like,
if it's still active, sit your ass down.
Yeah, you need to sit down.
Yeah, like the tour so we did 2 volcanic tours. We did the one in Lanzarote. Like, we never were allowed to really leave the bus. We just like drove around in the bus to see it, which was like not really that exciting. I could have looked at pictures. It's like, oh man. I was like, I thought you were at least going to let me out of the bus once.
Can I at least breathe the air? Like, dang.
And then
that sulfur.
Just so I can say I did it.
And then in Tenerife, we took like a cable car up, and then you could see like the peak of one of the, fun. Yeah, like that was really cool. And that with like the altitude. So that's like the highest peak in all of Spain. It's called El Teide. And so from that point, you can actually see like the other islands, because like I think the Canary Islands, 6 different islands, 6 or 7. And you were at such a high elevation point that you could actually make out like the other bodies of land, and like the clouds kind of go on forever. It was really beautiful.
I was having a panic attack up there, yo. Not really because I was scared of heights. That heights is not, I'm good with heights. Because I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh shit.
Where's your asthma pump?
I had to calm down. It wasn't that I wasn't taking in enough air. I was like, oh shit.
Relax.
Oh god.
Lina D looking at him like, this motherfucker.
I was like, yeah. I had to hold on. I was like, yo.
Well,
she's like, let's take a selfie.
Yeah, it's literally what she was doing.
You got Westley in the back dying.
Yeah, like,
oh man.
Well, it was Westley and my other friend that came with us. Like, they were both like dying. They needed to take a seat, and I was like, I'll be right back, guys. I'll go explore. Hopefully, you guys are okay.
Hopefully, you're not dead when I come back. He's like, God, great pictures. Oh, they died.
But it was a good trip. And then moving was a pain coming back. But at least now we're moved and
settled.
Somewhat settled.
As soon as you get your mail.
Everything in the States went to shit while we were out there because there was a shutdown that happened. And
which is like super crazy. There's like so many things that we thought about when we were traveling, because we were obviously traveling during the shutdown.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's like a story for another day.
Yeah.
But hopefully you guys get a sense of feeling a little bit more caught up with what we've been doing since our last season. We're probably going to highlight some of the stuff that has happened, just because like even within the first 3 months of this year, like so much shit has already happened.
Word.
So much shit. And so I think the most important thing is to never forget the shit that happens, so that we don't like repeat the same history and stuff.
Yep.
So,
but this is United States, so that's never going to happen. All right.
But anyway, we're going to remind y'all on our Instagram stories. So once we officially launched,
remember that time?
We'll be posting about that shit. So, but this was great. I can't wait for you guys to join us for the rest of the season. This is Lina D signing out.
See you later, Gator.
Peace out, girl. So I'm going to watch the Fire Festival documentary. Peace.
Oh, Lord.
Andy King is the greatest.